This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're all in a mansion. And who's in there but Dr. Lucky. Now each of us have a sort of a crazy backstory of a reason why we want him dead. So we're all chasing around trying to be the one to kill him. In To Kill Dr. Lucky from Cheap Ass Games, this is the new version, just came out. It's basically the 20th year anniversary, but it says 19th and a half year anniversary on the box. 2 to 6 players. Let me show how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of the game, you get to choose one of these 8 different pawn colors. Now, each of these are double-sided. They have different characters on here with different backstories that you can read about why they want to kill Dr. Lucky. Like this guy here, many years ago, Lucky stole and published the secrets of this guy's dazzling ducks. He was a magician and he publicized his secrets, and for that, Dr. Lucky must die. And they all have sort of funny backstories. Now here's the nice new board in this version, and players are going to start in the drawing room, and what they're trying to do, this is Dr. Lucky, starts in the gallery, and you're going to be trying to kill Dr. Lucky. Now this is, for 6 to 8 players, you play the entire board. With less players, you can close off complete wings, like this whole wing here, or this whole wing over here, or even both of them, you'll close them off by using cards. So the board scales pretty well depending on the amount of players that are in there. Now in this game, there's some important things that you're trying to kill Dr. Lucky. To kill Dr. Lucky, or to attempt to, you must be in the same room as him, and you gotta make sure nobody can see you. People can see from doors to doors, so somebody here in the sitting room could see over here in the billiard room, for example. Now in this case, he's in the gallery. Now this is a sort of an overhang. This is upstairs, and you can see through the overhang, through the dining hall, through the drawing room. So these people can actually see here right now. It's sort of the only tricky spot in the entire game with line of sight there. And this overhang actually blocks line of sight from here to here. But typically you need to be in the room with them and not be able to be seen, and you can attempt it. So let's go over how a turn works. Now everybody will start with 6 cards, unless there's 7 or 8 players, then it's different. But there's only 3 types of cards. There's weapons, there's moving, and then there's failure cards. So what you're trying to do is move to Dr. Lucky and kill him. So let's talk about it. Now a turn has 2 phases, basically moving and then action. Moving, you get, if you want to, you can move, you don't have to, but you can always move 1 for free. And if I was the orange player, I can move through this doorway into the dining hall like that. That would be my free movement. Now, anytime you move from one room through hallways, hallways are free. For example, if I want to move from this down these stairs, up here to the library, that would be 1 movement. It doesn't matter how far you move, as long as you move from one room to another room using the hallway. Now, you can use these move cards for the additional then from the free move. So in this card here, this could have allowed me to move to the dining hall from anywhere in the mansion, but I'm actually in the dining hall, so I've already used my free movement, so I'm going to use this. Now you can use as many move cards as you want in your turn, and you can use them before or after your free movement. I already had my free movement. I'm going to move 2, and in this case I'm only going to use 1 of the 2 because I'm going to move right here to the Tennessee. This is just 1 movement to the Tennessee room. Now, I can do my action now, and for my action, I can either try to kill Dr. Lucky if I'm in the same room with him and nobody can see me, or I can snoop around and draw a card. Now, line of sight goes through here, and nobody's in any of these rooms, and line of sight goes down to here, and nobody can see me in this room either, because nobody's there, so I will draw a card. So I would take a card from the draw deck and put it in my hand, and that would be the end of my turn. Now at the end of everybody's turn, Dr. Lucky is going to move sequentially. He started on the 15th room gallery, he's going to move to the 16th room. Then it will be the next player's turn clockwise. Usually the game moves in clockwise motion, but let's say another player did their turn and they already finished, Dr. Lucky moves here. If Dr. Lucky moves into a room with you, it's now your turn again. Now this can be very interesting because it throws off the turn order, but you can also do what's called riding the lucky train, which is moving to a room because of certain aspects. Let me show you. So let's say it was my turn again, and I just used my free room and I stop there. I can't draw a card because Dr. Lucky could see me. I end my turn. Dr. Lucky moves. We're in the same room again. Nobody could see me. I could try to kill him right now, but I don't want to. In this case, I'm going to use my free movement to move to right here with my 1 move, and I'm done. Actually, in this case, I could draw a card if I wanted to, so I would probably draw a card because nobody could see me. Dr. Lucky would then move, so why did I ride that Dr. Lucky train? Well, because I want to attempt to kill him. Nobody can see me, so for my action, I can attempt to kill Lucky. Now, by default, your character card is worth 1 point of possible murder. And so I have 1 point of murder for him, which means that starting with the player clockwise to me, they get a chance to try to make this a failure. Now, because I moved into the servants' quarters, and I did so for a specific reason, I actually had a card that would help me with this. I had the broomstick. The broomstick is worth 2 more points of murder, but if I use it in the servants' quarters, it's worth 4. There are so many uses for this simple tool. A lot of the cards in this game, like most of James Ernest's games, have a lot of funny flavor text on them. So this is 4. So I actually have 4 plus 1. I have 5 points of murder. Now going clockwise, people are going to be throwing possibly some cards of failure. So the first player might throw this and go, okay, I've got 1 shamrock. You need as many shamrocks as points of murder. So we need 5 to stop this. It would go to the next player. The next player's gonna go, you know what, there's a bunch of other players. I'm just gonna pass and put the buck on you. Next player passes, and then it gets tensioned. Someone goes, all right, I'll throw down 3. Now everybody only has 1 chance to go around and do this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it comes down to the last person. If they didn't have any shamrocks, they basically could be out. And then basically the game would be over and I would have murdered Dr. Lucky. But the last player does place a 5th one. Now the shamrocks are on other cards as well. You don't necessarily want to use them for this because they typically have more shamrocks on the failure cards, and that's all these cards do. These cards, you know, you can use these for other things, so you don't want to waste those. But here was 5 points soiled, so here this. Now what we would do is we would just flip this over, and what this means is that next time I start to do a murder, by default I start with 2 instead of 1. So every time you attempt a murder, you get stronger and stronger and stronger, which speeds the game up towards the end. So essentially that's the game, is trying to figure out where to go, where to be sneaky so you can draw cards, where to set yourself up forward thinking to try to be in the same room with Dr. Lucky where nobody can see you so you can try to murder him, how to use cards smartly. It's just moving around and trying to pass the buck and pressing your luck on when you want to use those shamrocks. Now that's the base game. The winner is the one that won is the one that killed Dr. Lucky, but there's also another side to this board. There's 2 halves here. You could play with just 1 half here, or you could play with just the bottom half, or you could play with both halves with the stairs going to this other stairs like this. So there's a lot of replayability in how you can play the game. There's also something in the rules, all different ways you can play the game. So different amount of players, where the players start, where Dr. Lucky starts, and then, you know, alternate board top, alternate board down, alternate board total, you know, just the west wing of the main board, east wing. So there's all different ways that this has balanced and tell you pretty much how to use it. Now there's also another way to balance this game. It's by using pets called cats or dogs. Now in this case, you can use it as a cat or a dog. It's this icon here. Now, what you can do is you can use a point of movement to move the pet to any room. It doesn't move by itself, but on your turn, you can move the pet to any room for 1 point of movement. If you use it as the dog, essentially you cannot draw a card or kill Dr. Lucky if the dog can see you. Think of it as another player. You won't do it if the dog's looking at you. And of course, that dog's name is Shamrock. And it's basically a good way to play with fewer players on a larger board. So if the board's too open, you include the dog. Or you can play with it as the cat, called Patience. It's a good way to play with more players on a smaller board. So if you think it's cramped, include the cat. Because if you put the cat in the room, everyone is staring at the cat and they don't look out. So if someone was in this room, they wouldn't be able to see you if you were here, but people in the same room could see each other. Again, another way to balance the game. And here it actually talks about the alternate board on the back side. It's basically called Dr. Lucky's Bed and Breakfast. And with a certain amount of players, if you play up, down, or entire board, with a certain amount of players, you want to play with the cat or the dog. And this just gives you some guidelines of when you'd want to use that. There's also another variant, a new one for this version, called Escape from Dr. Lucky Mansion. It starts as soon as someone kills Dr. Lucky. Let's say this player killed him. You could start another game called Escape from Lucky Mansion, where he is dead and now he's coming back, and now the game flips. Dr. Lucky is trying to kill everybody else, and you're trying to be the last person standing, because not only can Dr. Lucky kill you, other players can kill you. So how it works is it's somewhat similar, but flipped. Dr. Lucky still moves up on the numbers from 2 to 3, but you can use move points to move them faster going in that direction. Nobody can ride the Dr. Lucky train anymore, and so turns always go clockwise. You also draw 1 card at the beginning of your turn every turn, regardless of sight lines. And of course, you can use your movement to move yourself or Dr. Lucky. But you could use movement cards to make Dr. Lucky go to specific rooms when using those cards. Now, how this works is that if somebody moves Dr. Lucky into a room, Dr. Lucky automatically attacks this player, and that player alone has to play luck cards to try to get out. Dr. Lucky starts with 1 strength, but again, just like the main game, once he is unsuccessful, he gets a card, and that will essentially get him stronger and stronger throughout the game. And you can also attack other players, and essentially if you do kill them, you get to take all their cards that don't have any luck on them, and essentially the last player standing is the winner. Alright, well there's Kill Dr. Lucky. Now last year, or maybe in the year before, I reviewed a card game called Get Lucky. And it was a very streamlined version of the game, no board, just a card game. And I'd never played Kill Dr. Lucky, and I loved Get Lucky, and I still have it. It's still one of my favorite little filler card games. Kill Dr. Lucky comes out here, the board game, and I gotta tell you, I think Cheap Ass Games knocked this one out of the park. The artwork is beautiful. You open the board, if you've looked at the pictures of the previous ones, it looked so bland. These boards look awesome. Nice little shading and stuff, very clear. The new artwork's awesome. The game itself, they did a lot of things. If you can read a blog that he wrote about all the things that he did to tighten up the mechanisms and make it a more enjoyable game. I've never played the old one, but from reading what was changed, I can definitely see that those changes did exactly what he wanted to do, which was modernize it, bring it up to speed to today's modern game design, streamline things. This game's a lot of fun. It's a good family game. Now, my gamer friends they could probably enjoy this. They'd probably want to play heavier stuff, but I will gladly play this with gamers or families. I played this with my niece and nephew, and my brother and my sister-in-law who aren't big gamers, and they all had a blast playing this. When you put the board out, they're like, oh, this looks like Clue. Even though it's not really like Clue, but you're moving around trying to kill people, and I love it. There's a lot of interesting mechanisms in here. You gotta move. But you can move to where you want to move, or you can go to a spot where you can hide so you can draw a card. You can go there to plan because you know Lucky's going to be in your room pretty soon and you're ready to try to murder him. Or you can ride that Lucky train out because you get the right murder weapon, you're trying to get him to the right room, looking for lines of sights, trying to hide in certain spots, trying to plan ahead to where you want to be. All really fun things, great decision making. Even though it's not complex, it's a lot of fun. And the most fun is always when you're trying to do the murder, putting the buck on the other people and waiting for them to throw the shamrock or not throw the shamrock, and waiting for someone to go, nope, I'm going to put all the buck on you, and then you'll see what happens. Now, again, you can game the system and just not throw stuff in, but if you're not trying to break the game, it's a ton of fun. That pressure of putting the luck on other people is a ton of fun. They did a great job of making a lot of replayability here with the extra new variant of Dr. Lucky kills you afterwards and you're all trying to kill each other. Flip the board over, you got 2 different boards, you got wings you can close off, you got the pets. Amazing job designing and rebalancing this game. This was one I highly recommend for families for a lot of fun, and I'm keeping it in my collection for that reason. So let's induct it properly with a saxophone serenade.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for backing me on Kickstarter and making this season become a reality. I'd like to especially thank those here that have backed me at the credit level. Now, these video reviews are also available by audio on our podcast. It's the intros and the final thoughts on GameBoyGeek.com. Click podcast.